Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. Want to improve your organization's customer service? Looking for insider tips to knock your customer socks off? Then you're in the right place. Here's your host, Yanique Grant.
Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. On today's episode, you're going to be speaking with your host, Yanique Grant. That's me. So I'm taking a different approach for this episode. It's our first solo episode after doing 38 interview-based episodes. And I'm excited to sit here with you today and share with you some tips, nuggets that we've collected over the last 38 weeks of releasing 38 amazing interview-based episodes. Want to give a great shout out to all of our guests, locally and internationally, that have come on board to support and share the wealth of knowledge that they've shared. And I'm just amazingly inspired by each and every person that I have come in contact with as a result of starting this podcast. So today I kind of want to just talk about customer experience and, what are some of the different opportunities that exist for a business going forward in 2017. What are some considerations that they need to take into account? So whether or not a business plans for it, your brand provides a customer experience to your customers. Customers collect experiences throughout their journeys with your brand, regardless of your effort, investment, or intent to deliver cohesive and satisfying experiences. So it's so important that your brand and your advertising and your marketing, that they're cohesively connected and they're singing the same song. We're all on the same page, singing the same verse at the same time, singing the same chorus at the same time, because if not, that's where the disconnect occurs. People base their decisions based on what they experience and hear about your brand. Every experience you provide to your customer can encourage or discourage satisfaction, loyalty, and advocacy. And for those of you that are familiar with the book, Customer Satisfaction Doesn't Guarantee Loyalty, right? That's by Jeffrey Gitomer. You would know that if a customer leaves satisfied from your business, that does not guarantee that they're going to remain loyal to your business. And so because of that, you have to consistently deliver on quality experiences. If you're not, then it's quite possible the customer will switch. And customers nowadays, they have choices. The internet has given everyone the opportunity to do their research before they come into your business. They go online, they go to your website, they go to your Facebook page, they look at what other customers are saying about your business. They ask their friends and family about your products. They read reviews. They are fully informed, at least by 60 to 75% statistics say, before they even interact with a member of your organization. So with all of this in mind, you have to consistently deliver on whatever it is you're advertising that your company is going to deliver. And that is seamlessly what your brand is all about. People like to have simple experiences. That's the reality. So I love to go to a business that, when I walk in, I don't need to try and figure out what the business is trying to offer. Where should I go? What should I do? I know exactly what to do and where to go. So they have this index called the Global Brand Simplicity Index, right? And in it talks about what simplicity is. So each year, this company called Siegel and Gale, they survey thousands of consumers from around the world as it relates to evaluating hundreds of brands and how the brands deliver on their experiences. Now, simplicity by definition, right? Let's define what simplicity is. Simplicity is freedom from complexity, intricacy, or division into parts, right? And this is a definition by dictionary.com, right? And it is freedom from deceit or guile, sincerity, artlessness, naturalness. People want to do business with companies that it's very easy to transact business with them in all the channels that they provide service through. So whether it be online, whether it be face-to-face, whether it be over the telephone. It's a seamless and a very simple process, a simple experience. So according to the 2017 Global Simplicity Index, simple to the consumer in 2017 means being clear, it means being human, and it means being useful, powerful. And if those are the three things that simplicity means, it means in everything that a business does, they need to figure out, is this process clear? Is this product delivery or service delivery human? And are my consumers valuing this experience as being useful? Because if you're not meeting 3 or even 2 or 3 of those options, then you are losing out on all of the money you're leaving on the table for not creating that simple experience for customers. So I cannot implore, enough why it's important. Then it's so important as well for your brand or people that interact with your brand to recognize that you are real. So a lot of companies say in their marketing and advertising that we are offering quality service. Our customer service is the best. We take care of you. They used all of these endearing terms that when you listen to the advertisements, whether on TV or on the radio, you feel a sense of emotional connection. However, when you go to the business and have the interaction, it's a completely different experience. So your brand is what people feel and say it is, not what your brand believes or says it is. So perception is reality to the person that perceives it. It is a popular quote that I give in all of my workshops all the time. A lot of people believe that, service delivery or what the service that they offer is based on what they feel it is. But it's not what you, the company, feels it is. It's what the customer says it is. It's their feedback. It's their perception that matters. That's what determines whether or not you're a great or a good company. So your brand is owned by the customer, not you. It is created and fashioned in the minds of your customers and prospects. You are what they think you are or what they hear from others. Sometimes people form a perception of a brand just based on what their husband says to them or what their girlfriend says to them or what their coworker says to them. They've never interacted with a business before, but they're basing their thoughts or, giving feedback to other people based on what someone else said. So with that in mind, you have to remember that your brand is what others say it is. What your brand does is more important than what it says. So actions speak louder than words. And because body language is 55% of the communication process, it's so important that your leaders, your team members, everyone is walking the talk. Your brand will be ultimately evaluated by its customers on what it does for them, not what it says in its ads, emails, or on its website. So again, if your marketing is not congruent with the actual experiences that your customers are having, then at the end of the day, it's not what you believe your service experience is, but it's what your customers are actually experiencing. Brands that cannot retain customers, they just won't win in this world that we're living in. If you are not able to really recognize that the customers that you have currently are your gold mine, those are the ones who you need to be nurturing and ensuring that they're satisfied, ensuring that they want to come back so that they can go out there and be evangelists of your business. Then you lose right there. As I said, it's money you're leaving on the table. So your brand, again, acquiring customers is a costly activity. It requires you to go out there and tell people about what you're about and spend money to woo someone that you don't have any relationship with. Rather, you could be nurturing and building up existing relationships and having those persons woo people who you're trying to get. Because it would be an easier sell, because now that customer who you're trying to get would be persuaded by someone who has had an experience with your business, and the acquiring of that new customer would be based on what that existing customer shares with them. Brands that cannot motivate their customers to share positive sentiment will ultimately diminish the effectiveness of their marketing efforts. So the aim is to ensure that when your customers leave your business, they feel like they've just done business with the best company on earth. If you cannot absolutely say that, then it means that there's room for improvement. People trust each other more than they do brands. And word of mouth is a powerful force for improving awareness and consideration. That's why social media is so powerful. So, there's TripAdvisor, there are all of these different brands out there that basically you can go online and you can read up about where you're going and what kind of experience to anticipate. You can even get a rating. And so if your customers are not speaking positively about your business, even if you have the most upgraded building, the best uniforms, the mission and vision on the wall, state-of-the-art technology, state-of-the-art equipment, machinery, if the experience is not congruent and people are not leaving feeling like they are valued and appreciated, then you are going to definitely experience a diminishing return in the long term. Your brand can't be all things to all people. Customers have different needs, expectations, and values. So the better your brand can understand and reflect these through focus, segments, personas, and personalization, the more powerful the experiences it can deliver. So you have to know who your customers are, what's your market segmentation, which customers are, who represents that 80% of your business? What 20% of your customers gives you 80% of your business? And how can you have those 20% become evangelists of your business so that you can continually increase on that percentage? It's a work in progress, but it's possible. It's very possible. And I need to implore that, it's all about making that experience very, very simple. You must listen to your customers to understand them. Marketers spend a lot of time and money studying what gets people to buy too often. And sometimes they ignore what gets them to be satisfied, loyal, and willing to tell others. So listening is very important in the whole customer experience process, and voice of customer programs are essential to defining and measuring customer experience performance. You see, when you hire someone like me and bring in to train your team members, or hire my company to do market research, it's very hard to see a return on investment the following day. And that's what I think a lot of businesses fail to realize, that customer experience is a very intangible measurement. And so because of that, it's so important to continually be engaging and hearing from your customers, because if you're constantly getting positive feedback and the recommendations that you get from customers, you're actually improving on them, and customers can see that, listen, my feedback is not being, it's not just being put in a box and no one is actually taking it into account, but they're actually using it to make changes, then that's when you will see that, repeat business over and over. Differentiated brands are created by differentiated experiences. So I don't think there's any business globally that's a monopoly in what they do. Everybody has a competitor, whether it's a global competitor because we're operating in a global economy, or it's a local competitor. Regardless, we all are pretty much offering the same types of products and services. So what makes you disruptive in your industry is how you differentiate yourself. And finding and solving problems that reduce satisfaction are table stakes for brands. Brands that build strong affinity or love don't just retroactively solve problems, they proactively deliver meaningful experiences that distinguish the brand from competitors. So you need to identify what is your differentiator. How are you a disruptor in your industry? Those are questions that you should be asking yourself at every staff meeting or board meeting, and get feedback from your employees, because they work on the front line with the customers and they know what the customers want. For those of you listening, I'm sure many of you probably watch Undercover Boss, that show that comes on the cable. And, a lot of times when the bosses go into these companies, they're astonished at what's happening, because guess what? They spend so much time trying to lead the organization from the top that they have no idea what's going on the ground. And that's where all the action is happening. The path, the roadmap that they're creating at the top cannot come into effect if what's going on the ground is not being done effectively. So it's so important to recognize and identify what your differentiating experience will be for your customers. Now, you cannot change what the organization, teams, or employees do unless you change how they are measured and rewarded. What doesn't get measured doesn't get done. So, people often complain about organizational silos, but the real problem is the recognition systems that encourage competition for resources rather than collaboration between parts of the organization. So, brands cannot build sustainable long-term results only by measuring and rewarding short-term outcomes. It's a lifetime investment, and it's just simple. I'm going back again to the global brand simplicity index, that simplicity is where it really is. Another statistic is the simplest global brands outperform the major indexes by 433%. They say simplicity builds loyalty. 61% of consumers are more likely to recommend a business because it's simple. Simplicity earns a premium. 64% of consumers are willing to pay more for simpler experiences. So 62% of employees are considered brand champions in companies perceived to be simple. Versus 20% of employees are considered brand champions in companies perceived to be complex. So the amount of money, according to the Global Simplicity Index, that we are leaving on the table when we don't have a simplified experience is $86 billion. 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 So the most innovative brands are delivering a simple experience by empowering their people, reimagining experiences, removing friction, saving time, and providing utility. Because at the end of the day, simplicity pays. So, how do brands work on keeping things simple, right? They look at opportunities to make the customer's life very easy. And I think all countries in the world, at the end of the day, people just want to get into a business and get out in the shortest possible time. So if you have that in the forefront of your mind, in the center of your mind, and at the back of your mind, it will drive the processes and the products and services that you create for your customers so that they can have a seamless experience in everything that they do. It's so important to focus on trying to build relationships, and people like simple. So when you're building the relationship, the brand needs to be focused on how can we make this easy for our customers. So big brands, like let's use Amazon and Zappos, it's very easy to get in touch with them. They don't use an IVR. And in addition to that, they're also focused on ensuring that they're accessible to their customers. So when customers call, they're speaking with a human being within the first ring or the first 3 rings. They're not being put all over the place. And their team members at the first point of contact are super empowered and able to deal with the situation as soon as possible so the customers can feel satisfied. So being simple is an extraordinary skill, and it means taking lots of ideas, possibilities, and challenges and distilling them into the essence of what matters most. So in everything you do, customers are constantly demanding simplicity, which has made it a cost of entry. Many business owners should be thinking of simplicity as providing everything you want and nothing that you don't. Simplifying eliminates waste that comes with inefficiency, and it allows you to focus on what makes the biggest impact. So I can't emphasize enough how important, if anything, the theme of your strategy should be for 2017 and beyond, it should be simple. How can we make things simple so that our customers will leave telling their friends and family to come on over? Our customers will leave feeling like they've just done business with the best place on earth. And our customers will leave having a level of emotional engagement that makes them loyal to our brand, our product, and our service for a lifetime. Because there's no balance sheet that can measure the returns that you will get from that if you focus on those core components to drive your customer experience. So I hope that you all enjoyed this little conversation that I've put together for you as it relates to some thoughts that you can put in your mind for 2017 as it relates to customer experience. And you can always feel free to have greater conversations with us through connecting on our Facebook group, Navigating the Customer Experience Community, or following us on Twitter at NavigatingCX. So until next time, I'm your host, Yanique Grant. We really appreciate your support of this podcast. Are you ready to grow your business even more? Or improve your leadership skills? Or train your team members in the art of customer service? Give us a call at 305-848-0815 or visit our website at www.yaniquegrant.com. That's YANIQUEGRANT.com. Remember, 305-848-0815 or visit our website at yaniquegrant.com. Our new online course, Mastering Customer Experience and Increasing Your Revenue, is now available. The link for this will be on the show notes of each episode starting September 7, 2016. The first 2 modules are free, so hop on over, have a look, and take the steps to increase your revenue.
Thanks for listening. For more awesome resources to take your customer service game to another level, head over to navigatingthecustomerexperience.com. See you next time.